another year is upon us. They just creep up, don't they? While you're enjoying one year, the other's already starting to take shape. And as usual, I'm quite excited about 2025. As a cricket lover, you've got to look at the future and say, wow, I don't know what lies ahead. So I've got a little wish list, and my wish list for 2025 starts with the Champions Trophy, because I thought in the World Cup of 2023, India played some fantastic one-day international cricket. It wasn't to be in the final, but I'd like to see India continue playing like that, playing with freedom, playing without being bogged down, and maybe go on and win the Champions Trophy, ideally. Far too much at this year's Champions Trophy has been talked about in the preparation, in where it's going to be, in when it's going to be, and that's never great for our game. So I hope all that quickly goes away and we get down to the Champions Trophy. I'm just as, if not more, excited about the test tour to England. India playing 5 test matches again there. As I record this, no idea about whether India are going to qualify for the WTC final, but those 5 test matches, because I want to see how some of the youngsters who have coming through the ranks start to go there. The likes of Yashasvi Jaiswal, Nitish Reddy, Harshit Rana, Washington Sundar. Yeah, I know Washington's been around for a while, but he's played so little, so I'll put him in that list. I'd like to see how they go, but there's a big part of me that wants to see how the senior players go. 2025 is going to be a big year for people like Ravindra Jadeja, but even more so for Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. I think it's an open secret that a lot of us cricket lovers were very unhappy with all that happened around Ravichandran Ashwin's retirement. And in doing so, though, the people who took a decision on his future have said, this is how it's going to be in the future. Doesn't matter if you're a great match winner. And so all of a sudden in 2025, people like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, they're going to start to be judged, maybe for the first time in their life for many, many years, since they started to become fantastic players that they are, with all the joy that they've given us. And there's a big part of me that says, Virat, Rohit, come and play like we know how you could, because when they play well, cricket is such a great game to watch. But it's going to be a year to watch out for. If you're a Virat Kohli fan, if you're a Rohit Sharma fan, between those two it encompasses the universe anyway. So I'm going to be looking very closely at that. And since I talked about the youngsters, love to see how some of the others come through. Tilak Varma's made a dramatic entry into T20 internationals. I'm sure there's so many others around him, and that's why I look at the IPL. Are there players in the IPL who are saying, look at me, I'm ready. I've played maybe just a level below the IPL, but I'll show you that I belong over here. So I'll be searching for players like those, much as we did in 2024, and thereon I'd like to see how India go in T20 internationals, because remember, there's a T20 World Cup at the start of 2026. In 24, India was unbelievable in T20 cricket, won virtually everything. Their win percentage was better than it's ever been in T20 internationals, 100 sixes. But I also like the return of some of the wrist spinners, the bowlers coming back in. So 2024 was a fabulous year for India in T20 internationals. I'd like to see that go on and into the T20 World Cup in 2026. I'd like to see the WPL do well again. I thought from year 1 to year 2 it got better. There's a lot of young talent coming through, and some of them you're already starting to see in India colours. I'd like to see the WPL become big, and I'd like to see a lot of that talent starting to appear on the big stage. I mean, Smriti Mandhana, Jamima Rodrigues, Renuka Thakur Singh, Deepti Sharma, Harmanpreet, they've all been around. But I'd like to see the youngsters coming and starting to nudge them, because in some ways 24 was a bit of a disappointment with what happened in the Asia Cup and in the T20 World Cup. So I want to see the WPL catalyze the emergence of a lot of people, in a lot of young players in T20 cricket. And I'd like to see the associates play fantastic cricket. They've done that in spurts from time to time, but one of the great highlights of the T20 World Cup this year was the performance of the United States. Running some of the teams close, actually beating Pakistan was beautiful to see. It was a big shot in the arm for the associates. The associates must do well, and here's hoping in 2025 that the associate nations start to maybe cause a few more upsets, but get lots more opportunities to show off how good they can be. And I'd like to end with two pet peeves. I'd like to see a little bit more responsibility taken on these two factors that I'm going to mention. The first is spectators at international games in India. I come here, I'm recording this in Australia, and I meet a lot of the fans, and they say we enjoy going to India to watch the cricket, but somehow it's not very comfortable. I'd like the state associations to take a lot more responsibility. As all of you know, with state associations, there are sadly all kinds. But I'd like to see a lot of pressure put on them to increase spectator facilities when it comes to ticketing, when it comes to toilets, when it comes to food, when it generally comes, it's generally as a pleasant experience, getting in, getting out of stadiums. I'd like to see a big move on that front in 2025. And I'd like to see a little more seriousness, a little bit more responsibility in the manner in which cricket is presented through the digital media to our vast audiences who are so responsible for the health and the prosperity of our game. There's too much happening in our digital media that is scurrilous, that is irresponsible, and all you editors who take so much pride in how your pages go out in the print format, you take a little bit more responsibility and say, no, digital media cannot fall prey to clickbait. What are we telling youngsters entering our profession? Are we telling them that journalism is about clickbait? Are we telling them that journalism is not about checking your story, about being responsible, about being accurate, but just rushing into the media? And so I'd like the senior people in our profession to ensure that the youngsters coming into the digital media present our sport in a responsible, attractive manner to the vast army of consumers who lie in front of us. Because, editors, if you do not leave this game, this medium, better than when you came in, you have let yourself and our media down. So I've got a big hope that digital media ups its game and presents cricket beautifully in 2025. I got that off my chest, didn't I? Looking forward to some fantastic cricket, looking forward to join you, and looking forward to sharing anecdotes, stories. Sport is wonderful, sport is happy, and I hope it stays that way through all of 2025. Wish you a wonderful new year and wish you lots of happy sports viewing.